yeah, this is gonna be a short message. It may not be short, but this is just um a little moment, you know, um for us, collective. Collective, I want to talk about the things that you guys have been seeing in the news, right? And the things that you heard and the things you've heard about the Epstein files. Hold on. And the things that you guys have heard in the Epstein files, right? I think it's so embarrassing. It just shows how hard they are trying to hold on to something that is slipping through their fingers. That at the magnitude of these charges or these things that they are being accused of, that you have people in positions of authority and power that have been reported as essaying young boys, girls, whoever, and they have not lost their job. They have not been terminated. And these people, some of them or one of them or a couple of them, has been secretly attacking me. Or maybe people know about this. But can you see the Most High, the divine, universal alignment at play? It's out of this world. And just think, guys, at one time, we probably wouldn't even been able to see any of this. But being as though we have been going through some of these, truth revealing moments, whether that's on TV or in our personal lives, where we've had to deal with reality of our situation. And I'm just sitting here looking, you know what I mean? Like them scrambling for straws, scrambling for balance, acting like this isn't happening. And it is embarrassing that they really have no power and no authority, but they holding on to it. But because they do have the power and authority, to hold on to it. But the fact that the secrets that are being revealed, these people should be in jail and they're not. That means our government has failed us. They failed us. They were not for us. They was for their group. They was for their cult. They was for their, their secret societies and their secret parties and their secret meetups. But I told you, Jeffrey was going to get his justice. And I told you, Jeffrey said he was not innocent. But they was not going to blame all that on him. He wasn't the only one. You feel me? So, and now he getting his justice. They going to reveal or they going to hide what really happened to him. But if they don't, there's going to be divine justice. You feel me? Like, you're going to see weird things happen, miraculous things happen, be revealed. And they so busy trying to protect each other, but the truth is seeping through the pores. And you just look at your government fail you every day. When you got a whole, quote unquote, murderer as your president, who also essayed one woman and some young girl. And they ain't done nothing about it. Not yet, if ever. This is who we have going to different countries to represent us. And they take more pride in covering for this person than bringing justice for the people that were done wrong. Just look at your government. Look at them every day on TV making rules for us when the main person that broke rules, they haven't even brought justice to. Some of these rules, some of these laws that were broken come with automatic 5, 10, 15 years. Do you understand how we look to the world, and how some of these people in these other countries that have been doing the same thing, and they just sit there in power trying to tell other countries what to do when your own country can't even discipline the people who misguided and lied to you, as well as abusing their power and authority. Did you hear these things that they have done? And they are running your country. They have been running your country. And they sit there every day and get on that TV and act as if nothing's happened. If they can run up in a civilian's house, when it comes to the President of the United States of America, your own government does nothing? They did nothing but reveal it and post it? And this man is on your TV trying to tell all these other countries what they should be doing? What kind of rules they should be going by? When he hasn't went by anybody's rules, not even the law of the land. It's disgusting. Embarrassing. And then when I think about my situation, it's a disgrace to the human race that they sit there and they just work and watch with all this evidence and does nothing. All these people they hired, put in these positions of power, is just as corrupt as our president. All of them. Anybody, not a lot of, I'm not saying everybody, but the ones that I've have come across, they all know and mingle with each other. And they all got secrets to hide. That's why they be running to these people. To hide a record, to hide a medical record, to hide some kind of charge. Next thing you know, they make a deal. They be like, all right, well, if you do this for me, we'll take that off your record. And we thinking, you know what I'm saying, these people out here, vouching for them. But no, they didn't make some secret handshake where somebody get a couple of dollars, they get something off their record, one of their friends get looked out for in the street, somebody get a charge dropped. You feel me? I'm just like, first of all, let's just give applaud to the Most High, the Divine, the universe, the archangels. Me and Abba go through it. Me and the Father go through it. You know what I mean? I want to be honest about my relationship with the Most High, because sometimes I be so mad at him. I say how I really feel, and I be wrong. And sometimes I might be right. I don't know how many times I'm going to be right, but I just want y'all to know that I really do go in with the Father. But at the end of the day, or the mother, that's who had my back, my ancestors, But when I look at them revealing to us what they've been exposing to us, it blows my mind. Like, if fraud was a person, if fraud was a group of people, you would know or should know who it is today. Just watch them get up there every day and talk. And while their government just sit there and watch. Can you imagine? So let's talk for real. So if they just sitting there watching, not all of them is corrupt. There may be some good ones out there somewhere, but the corrupt ones was taking out the good ones to stop them from talking. And then if you got a corrupt chief in the government, they sabotaging the truth tellers. You know what I mean? Like they do us. So you got you know a spirit revealing all of this to you, and they watching them cover for this man right now with all of this coming out of the woodworks. Can you imagine what they have hid for these people? Who they have hid for these people? Let me tell you about a download I got today. That was a download I got. That some of these kids, right, that was sex trafficked. They would set their parents up. They would get their parents hooked on drugs. Then they would sex traffic the kids. That's one scenario, right? The parents die in some kind of car wreck. Boom, go in the foster care system. Guess what? Daughter gets picked up by a pimp. Next thing you know, she being sex trafficked. The son being sex trafficked. They being raised up in some kind of a cult. Y'all just told a story about some young guy. I can't remember his name. But this shit was really happening. And if you looking right, if y'all see what is happening on the news right now and how these people took their time to move and reveal this, bro. Well, maybe now the truth tellers in these corporations can now speak. Because maybe at one time they couldn't. But just imagine, y'all, how many bodies is in that water. How many bodies is in the ocean? If it's no longer a body, just imagine how many spirits y'all been sitting here waiting for this truth to be revealed. Do y'all understand where we at today? Where we came from? Why everything transpired? Why I had to shut up? Why I had to speak? And why there were so many people trying to paint this illusion of this divine relationship? Do you hear the dead speaking now? Do you hear the dead crying now? Because that's who's talking. Some living and some dead. You hear the dead speaking. Jeffrey, dead. Who else? All of them been waiting for this justice. And they just sitting there dumbfounded that is actually being revealed. And they sitting there in our face doing nothing about it. So when things start happening to these people, they thought they was bigger than God, and they thought they was going to make a mockery. They've been making a mockery of God for years. They wanted y'all to continue to worship them. So your father. So the devil will look like it would continue to be their king, while your true divine king had to wait his turn for y'all to wake up. And they did it for millions, or I don't know how many years it was allowed to be done. But they involved the black magic to suppress you guys, to water down your mental, to make you not want to read or not to go investigate, or they used Caucasian people to continue to brew hate, but they was behind the scenes fraternizing and sleeping with each other. Let's not talk about how the white men loved the black men. And then they would be secretly competing with women. Turn our men into their sex slaves for money. And our women. Do you see all of this and why all of it must be revealed? All them did y'all hear about them bodies them children bodies that were discovered at the border of Mexico? Do you understand the magnitude of the dead that is speaking and is rising, or is helping us to rise? And in revealing this truth, exposing this truth through us. And the ones that are scrambling and is fraternizing with these people, their judgment is coming. Their judgment is here. And they scared. And they didn't believe. They used to laugh in God's face, y'all. And you know why they turned their back on God? Just so they can practice their little low vibrational, nasty behaviors. They was embarrassed. But instead of really being embarrassed or something like that, they chose to mock God. And for them not healing their traumas, when what happened to them where they were kids, and poverty and essay and all of that, they chose to turn their back on the Most High and invest in the illusion of a healed version of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High only want us to heal. The Divine Mother, Divine Father, the ancestors, archangels, they want us to heal so that we can connect with our authentic self, so we don't have to go out here selling ourselves to be liked and loved due to these illusions we create on the outside of ourselves. That's all we have been entertained and attracted to, is the illusion of these people. But when you sit down and talk with these people, you will hear some of the most corrupt, dark, demonic you ever heard in your life. Maybe not all the time, but when it comes to plotting and planning, you'd be shocked at some of the things you hear that these people would do or have done to people. But they portray themselves as divine masculines, divine feminines, these great martyrs, and all that. And these people was actually creating some of these storms behind the scenes, using them for their benefits and all that, and you guys too. Because in my head, I have a vision of, it's us, right? This big circle. But then it's them, you know what I mean? Or y'all remember that image? I think I see it on a tarot card. You know how all them people is like, they playing chess, but there's a bunch of people under the table holding up the chessboard? Sometimes it could be one person, but in some cases it was like 4 or 5. That's us. That's been us. Go find that image. Maybe you want to look at that for a minute. That has been us. So when you get up there and you see this person talking on the news, and you hearing all these charges being brought up or these incidents, and they not doing nothing, that means we're not safe, or we haven't been safe. And it's time for them to protect us, because they've been protecting these demonic, dark individuals for years and lifetimes. But yeah, like I said in the previous message, they're going to make a mockery out of God. Okay. God about to make a mockery out of all of them, exposing all their deepest, darkest secrets. And if they don't get exposed, these people are paying top dollar for them not. They don't really want that smoke that the Most High bring, because the Most High will pull all their cards. He could pull every card from when they was 15 till now. They would have people coming out of the woodworks on these people. Do you hear me? They don't want to play with God like this. I've been trying to tell them that. You know what I mean? And the Most High, I get mad because I feel like the Most High is so meek. And he really is. I don't know. I might be wrong, but he is. You know, in my eyes, I think the Most High is meek. You know what I mean? But I know if the Most High was to speak, is liable to bust these windows, slam out. I have a inkling about that. I feel that he's so powerful, but I just don't like how slow he is, or how, practical or strategic he is when it comes to, because I be in emotions, but the Most High be in logic, practicality. I don't know if he's a slow thinker, a wise thinker. The Divine Mother, I don't know. I think she may have got mad at the Father sometimes. I don't know. I think there's a little history there that we don't know about. There's a lot of stuff we don't know about, but She's been mad too, I think, about some things. Yeah, she's been mad. And but now these things are coming out. And another thing I want to share with y'all, if I don't get up too far off track, is if y'all look at everything that has transpired, you are seeing history be explained without words. You feel me? Like, they're showing you what is the forbidden fruit. You remember the forbidden fruit in the Bible? They showing you that. When you say, why we been here for so long, look what they did to our stars. Look what they did to our celebrities. They turned them into them. They'll come in there with their dreams, wanting to take care of their family, but then they adapt to the situation and they become one of them. So they had the idea of getting out the hood, but then they got set into another trap, adapted to another system. So they wasn't able to free us. You feel me? Some people was willing to do some things that some people wasn't to make it out. And some people wasn't supposed to make it out because they would have to pay them some money. They would have to give them some land. So they dumbed them down. They gave them a bad, poor education system, kept the mom and dad in poverty, broke them up. You feel me? Because you don't want no smart, melanated person coming out of the community and exposing that, hey, this shit belong to us. You don't want nobody, they ain't want nobody like that. So they took all our rich men and women, turned them into these rich men and women, and then bruised them, hurt them, used them, blackmailed them, made them conform to the system, sent them off to the next man or woman to sleep with, gave them a little prize and an award and an increase of some kind. They adapted to that shit. They adapted to that mentality, which is they were hustlers, but they were wounded. They were scarred. They chose to use the outside things to cover up for the things that was broken inside. And guess what they did? They put other people through that system. They watched other people go through that day where they took their innocence. They watched somebody go through that. That became their drug, is watching somebody else have their innocence taken like theirs was. You feel me? They adapted. And this has been going on for lifetimes. We ain't never had a soldier come out of the hood. We ain't never had a soldier stay 10 toes down at this magnitude. They shut everything down for me. I don't know about the other ones out there. I haven't met them. You feel me? But I had to keep going. Fussing at the Most High, mad at the Most High, loving the Most High at the same time. You know, but it wasn't for me. Because when they start giving me them cards, it was for those souls that I was hearing come through the cards. You hear me? Like, when I started reading, I just thought I was going to be reading about my future husband and love lives and telling my family about their relationships. But then the spirits start coming through. You feel me? And then I was like, well, let me just try. I think John Benet Ramsey was one. I haven't been able to do that because they've been suppressing my channel so bad, you know, because I was supposed to come back and do that reading because I've gotten a little better and I wanted to start reading a little bit more. Nah, they didn't want me to speak. So I had to pull back my energy. You know what I mean? I want to also give a side note to them tarot readers that's out there draining these clients of their money and their resources for these fake-ass relationships. You will experience what you putting them people through. To the clients and the customers, you need boundaries when it comes to spending your money on a reading. If that man ain't came back yet, he ain't coming back. You got to heal. And if he coming back to spend a night, you going to be hurt a couple more days, okay? You got to let their asses go, ladies. You got to stop holding on to this man coming to rescue you. He not coming to rescue you. You going to rescue yourself. And then y'all going to ride off into the sunset, something like that. Stop putting these women in these toxic relationships, and women stop holding on to them. Heal, heal. Once y'all start healing, you gonna see, you gonna stop doing things you used to do. Your diet gonna change, your attitude gonna change, food ain't gonna taste the same. But that's what I'm saying. That's what healing does. Your appetite change, the clothes you buy, the way you look at how you dress, all that. Stop saying you in relationships with people you not. Stop trying to feed that beast. You don't need to feed this image to the collective as you are happy in a relationship. Say you happily single, trying to find yourself, found yourself. Stop keeping this ritual going of us trying to have us, you live through our eyes as somebody you not. People like authentic people. They can relate to authenticity. It's the face they don't like. Trying to hold up the facade, trying to carry this image. Stop, because some people can read body language. Some people can read energy. People don't always have to be on YouTube broadcasting their gift. People out here in the world are not stupid, and some people who ain't broadcasting their gifts are waking up to them right now. The masks are falling. The only ones that are still wearing them is the ones that you trying to impress, and they going broke. Okay? Don't be fake for fake people. They gonna cause you to go broke. The authentic ones will spend money with you because they got good money coming in. They not out here doing stupid stuff for their money. They not out here pretending to be people they not when their money coming in. You know what I mean? They not investing in fake relationships and fake lovers. You know, draining their pockets. They got a steady flow. These people put their money up. These people put their money away. You don't got to be fake with real people. See, real recognize real, and real will spend with a real person, but they won't spend with a fake person. They're not gonna waste their money on somebody being fake, and they're not even gonna imitate anything you doing because they know you being fake. But their money steady because they know how to cut people off that ain't serving their highest good. They know they don't want to be around people that drain their energy, that's very negative and low vibrational. Real people don't do that. But them fake ones, their money is limited. You only get the 1st and the 15th and sometimes the 31st. But if you dealing with a real motherfucker, they got money all the time. Because they not out here trying to keep up with the Mrs. and the Mrs. Joneses. You feel me? Y'all see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? But this is all having something to do with what's going on. But I just want y'all to, peep game and recognize that y'all can't pull the wool over your own eyes anymore. And neither can they. You can't not see it. Hollywood, y'all did a number on us. But, I've been watching some movies back in the day, and I was like, somebody forgot to edit a couple scenes. I just now realizing, like, y'all wasn't good with the editing, like y'all had us blinded not to see. But as healing continue to go on, that's how clear your mind can get, that you can see, on a side note, certain scenes that was not all the way edited. You just can you can see so clearer You feel me? Like you can hear what people saying, and them they don't even know they said it that way. And some of us can even get so deep with what somebody said, it can freak them out. You know what I'm saying? That's that part where they be like, you know what? Now that you said it like that, I never thought about it that way. That's what healing does. But as I'm going back to the beginning of this message, I'm just looking at them like all these years, all these damn years it took for this to come out, in the magnitude of the things that these people done. They praying, trying to negotiate with the Father right now because they worried about their secrets getting revealed. They made a mockery of the Most High, y'all, and the Most High said, "Who's laughing now? Biatches." It's like, that's me. That's me. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll take that back. I'm being rude, but I didn't even know they was on this type of time. You know what I mean? I didn't know this what they really meant when they said demon time. I was familiar with the movies and things like that, but I didn't know they was out here trying to make the Most High look stupid. Like y'all really down for that? But they didn't got away with it for so long. Because they had to dumb y'all down. And if you think about it, y'all was stupid. We was stupid. I wanted to say that. But I couldn't keep it there though. We was stupid. We was really stupid though. I mean, because our ancestors got it the worst because they didn't even know how to read and write. You feel me? Like, they had to adapt to some shit without no instructions. They had to create shit from the ground up. And then what they was taught was somebody else's system. So this system that they was taught from a bunch of dummies to dumb down probably smart people, but just didn't know their system or their presidents and their secretaries of state and, you know, all those famous Caucasian people. You know what I mean? But at the same time, still in their identity. You know what I mean? You having your whole identity stripped from you. So then your ancestors being identity being stripped, and they giving you the identity they want you to carry. So how was we going to break out of this system when it came from the ones before us was damn near, what's that thing where they burn a cow? What's that thing called when you mark a cow with the iron? Our ancestors went through that. You feel me? That's trauma. Then let's talk about the whips. Let's talk about the chains. We come all the way here to right now to expose to you what they have been doing to us for thousands, if not hundreds of years, if not more than that. Oh, you know what I mean? So going back to again with Kanye said something about being slaves. Kanye West was a slave too. He was a slave in modern time. He freed himself, I guess. I'm thinking, I don't know. But I'm gonna say he did. I said he freed himself. And now we as a collective have to free ourselves. No longer being mental and emotional financial slaves to a system of a bunch of idiots. How could you mess up something so great so bad? How could you create a food system that's hurting your people? Because you're not meant to be empowered. White people gonna have to sit around the kitchen table, the dinner table, and talk about some stuff. You're gonna have to come to terms with some things. Cause this man right here, you don't want nothing else like it. You don't want nothing. Y'all remember them kids y'all hear about kidnapping and shit, go missing? Come on now. Think about it. This is under whose regime? Whose power? The meek shall inherit the earth. Move out the way. It ain't about, don't listen to that. It's about they taking over. No, the cavalry is coming. Put it that way. The divine cavalry is here. These people have been lying to you for you to be in this toxic, hateful ass energy. You to think that your place was going to be taken, but you ain't mind taking somebody else's. You just got to come to terms with the truth, just like we got to come to terms with the truth so we all can move on. So we can betterfy our food system, our education system. If we have to, we could start having more online learning where more melanated kids could learn about their history for a certain verse or chapter. You can go online and learn whatever it is you want to learn. But you know that I feel like we should learn a lot about each other. But when it comes to the truth, it's time for the truth to be revealed. And the superiority and all of that stuff, you were giving your gifts just like we were. You know what I mean? Everybody's contributing a certain kind of way. But the hate got to go. The hate. The not understanding. You know, your kids not used to seeing people of color in their environments. They not understanding the pigmentation of their skin. They don't understand why they look that way. But yet you feed them these corrupt narratives of why they look that way. But yet you're not doing nothing about this president that you got here that was sitting here harming or harmed somebody's child. You not out there protesting? Yes, you are. My bad. Hold that cap. Hold that cap. My bad. I'm sorry. But like we said, it's about protecting the children. That's what's next. That's what we're working on. Protecting the children. It's no more white, black, Puerto Rican. It's children. There was white, black, Puerto Rican, orange, yellow, gray, green children out here being sex trafficked. What you need to do is ask a parent, what is it like raising a child after that? And this is what we need to prevent. This trauma has been implemented on us from a very long dark day ago. On all of us. On all races. We have a lot in common. but our skin complexions is the art in the human form. We need to stop saying that black people this, black people that, Mexicans this, because white people, you have to now see the judgment that you have called on other people. You have to now see that there's no superiority. We are all equal. But first you have to acknowledge that somebody's identity was stolen, somebody's land was stolen, and people that you trusted in your community betrayed you too. You have to come off of that high horse that you've been on. You have to stop thinking somebody's going to leave you out the equation, but you don't even have room for an apology. You don't have room for an apology. You don't explain to your kids the beauty in art in human form. When you see the colors, the complexions, the voices, the languages, you choose to make something negative out of art. You use art colors when you color in a crayon, what's it, coloring book? But yet when we walk around here, we have all those colors in living form. How did you take something like that and make it negative? But they was good for sex though. Ask the men behind the scenes. They loved our black men. Loved them for sex, money, and all that other stuff. But when y'all start talking about us, oh, we bums, we lazy, we this and we that. No, we're art. We all are art in human form. You guys made it dark. The way you could go to a whole nother country and they speak a whole nother language, but they look like you. That's art. That's creativity. They was going to mock the Most High for that? The color of a African woman's dark pigmented skin, that's art. How did you get dipped in chocolate? But yet they're this and they're that. They might have some policies that we don't like the practice of, but that's their beliefs, you know. But they are beautifully pigmented. They walk in a room, you see them, but you said it was bad. But you see them when they come in. They gain your attention when you see them. You stop and look. We said, dang, they black as hell. That's art. It catches your attention. But they had all these people in the world project all this negative energy onto them, and it manifested. Black is not ugly. Black is beautiful. Black is color. It is, again, art. You have a person dark as night walking in the daylight. You made that ugly. A young girl or boy with cerebral palsy have the most beautiful personalities. They don't judge, but we did. We do. And it all started with racism, division, what we felt was good and not good, perfect and unperfect. This is what the divine is shifted, your perspective. Because when we was all blinded, this is what was happening right up under our noses. A girl was taken up out her bed. Huh? She was taken up out her bed and she woke up with a finger in her. Come on, y'all. That's what it said. I don't know if that's true, but that's what it said. We got bigger fish to fry now. Protecting our kids, protecting our food system, climate change, whatever's over there, ice wall, that people are worried about coming over here. If we elevate high enough, you wouldn't even be scared. You live in fear. You've been taught fear. If you're going to go, you're going to go. There's nothing you can do about it. But you want to make sure everything's good before you do. That's how you should live every day. Stop seeing color. We got to stop seeing color. That's a trauma bond. That's trauma. Stop letting your friends say that negative shit about a race behind your back. That's trauma bond. I don't know about trauma bonding, but it's negative. It's trauma bonding. If somebody of a different race hurt your feelings, say that. Stop letting y'all family sit around the table and bringing that negative energy in your house. Stand up. Stand up for people who don't even know you exist. It'll manifest in your life and theirs some way. That moment you stood up for whoever said something negative about somebody in your life, in your presence, about somebody else's life, that day you stood up will manifest somewhere in somebody's life just because you said that to whoever was saying that negative shit in your house. Get in their ass. Read them their rights. That's where we gotta go. That's where we have to go. We ain't been there. We gotta go there. Because if we do this now, we're gonna manifest some smart, intelligent people, kids. Because when we gone, bro, you will hate to hear your kids out here struggling and somebody coming out here and them having no boundaries for anything. Teach your kids how to not let people talk like that around the table. We got to start teaching them now before they have somebody come in here and divide them all over again, put them in some kind of toxic loop, and we over here, we coming down here, or they done lost faith and they don't even deal with us and we can't even protect them. You feel me? Like, it's that deep. You know what I mean? We gonna be having to protect them over there, wherever we gonna be. We gotta get them prepared to start setting strong boundaries now. Don't let nobody come in your life and try to isolate you from somebody and other people when this world is this big, and then you want to travel to other people's country and be accepted and nicely and rightfully treated. But yeah, that's, it might not make sense to some of y'all, but some of y'all it might. But that's how deep, and that's how the story began, and now collective we have to change its ending. Now it may not ever end, but if we don't teach these kids about boundaries, we could be in a world of trouble when it's our time to look through the looking glass or the telescope? Spiritual telescope, when it's our time to be over there. We just don't want to hear our kids screaming and begging and crying like we did when we were kids for help. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta heal this color thing because they gonna need each other. Because we already do. And we swear we didn't. So we can't let them create another world like this one that we're coming from. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got a president right now with some of the most heaviest being revealed in the news. We don't want our kids to have to ever endure some shit like that. So that's been a long one. And just me speaking my truth. And I hope you guys have a beautiful one. Bye.